Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video and finally back with the vinyl talk I promised I've been talking about like quite a bit ago. So here we go, and we're talking about a 12-inch record, this time Ultimate Sin, Despair, Dragon's Lair, and yes, this is my handwriting if I have like a proper marker, so enjoy and appreciate. And it has been released on Riset Records, which was a German label. Actually, this was catalog number 3 and the final release on Riset Records. And I'm not only talking about the record itself today, but also about a little tragic story, kind of, I guess. But into the music first. Ultimate Sin is, as far as I remember, drum and bass, and they're drum and bass producers from Russia, actually, which was at the time it came out in 2006 or 2004, I guess, somewhat around that line. A bit of a, well, unusual release for a German label and also for drum and bass overall, because drum and bass was more, or is basically a UK thing, and well, now the scene is worldwide, but back in the day Russia wasn't on the map that much in terms of producers. They were known for having big raves with like 10,000 people in huge warehouses and stuff, but like drum and bass production from Russia was not that common. There was another group on that label, or another production team, which were called MFC Team, which released the second release on Riset, but Ultimate Sin, Despair, Dragon's Lair is definitely their first and I guess only release on the label as well. Not only on the label but also on the vinyl circuit. And there's 2 tracks on here. Despair is on the A side, which is more of a, well, technical drum and bass tune, maybe. Reminds me a bit of releases of like people from the US, like DJ UFO, Sage, the whole Funk Attack, Phylum, San Francisco drum and bass scene, very short loops and very like staccato beats and stuff. Feels a bit like a huge machine, like industrial robots and stuff. I don't know, assembling bits very hard, very fast. The usual drum and bass tempo of that time was about like 174, I guess, and I estimate that this track, Despair, is about 180 BPM, which is really fast for drum and bass, so this was more of a prime time tune. And Dragon's Lair on the B side is a little bit different and more like, well, it's dark. The other one's dark too, but very dark and like Amen heavy kind of. So if you remember producers, or if you know producers like Technical Itch, this is where you're going with that tune, with Dragon's Lair. And it's pretty unusual in a way that it has a massive build-up, so there are, before the first beat is coming into the tune, it's like a 2.5 minutes build-up, which is also pretty unusual and pretty unique. So it's more like an intro tune if you wanna like destroy crowds in prime time settings. So if you play this and build up this huge tension and then go straight into like very harsh and like aggressive, brutal sci-fi beats, you will destroy crowds for sure, and like rock dance floor as well. So people will be like hyped when their first beat comes, and definitely good tunes. But the tragic story about Riset is that, well, I knew the guy kind of who started the label. His name was Little Lugger as a DJ, and the first one was more of a like experimental trip hoppy all over the place release, which was not that good, but he had like very good intentions in terms of he wanted to build a booking agency, he wanted to set up parties, he planned for like 10 releases up front and stuff, and he was actually friends with a friend of mine, like a female drum and bass DJ known as DJ Hectical back in the days, and well, I met that Little Lugger guy through her, kind of, and she brought me his records and stuff, and he was like about to found, and as I said, like a booking agency for DJs, and we were talking about like me joining the agency and stuff, and then we had a like talk on the phone, which was pretty weird. It's kind of, because then he was talking like about like straight edge and hardcore veganism and stuff and very esoteric conspiracy theory related stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, what's happening there? Like the few weeks or month we had been talking like prior to that, he seemed like I know he was like a vegetarian, but he seems like a pretty normal guy otherwise, so, and like had like a straight vision of what he wanted to do. And like then I went down to one party he threw in Essen where DJ Alecat was playing, the drum and bass DJ back in the day, who's now running the Kokeshi label from London and also is involved in the ESP booking agency. And we met there, and he brought also some other guys over, and he lost money in all of these parties, I guess, because he wasn't too good at promoting stuff. And well, but back to the phone call, he was talking about some pretty weird out of space shit, like in terms of conspiracy and stuff. And then well, the era is a little bit blurred for me, but because I was traveling much and stuff. But then we had, I guess, one or two other phone calls and email conversations, and then the guy was like off everything. So he didn't answer any phone calls anymore and didn't reply to emails as far as I remember, and there were no more releases on the label. And then I heard rumors that he kind of went nuts and bonkers and stuff, and I don't know if it was with the conspiracy theories or with all that weird shit he had going on, but I heard rumors that his parents, well, that guy was like, I don't know, at this time 25, 28, I don't know, at this time, that his parents pulled his access to his bank account so he couldn't like burn up any money anymore, and sent him to a place for recovery or something like that. And then he escaped or something and then went off to Berlin or wherever. But actually he was full of money, and he wasn't allowed to set up parties anymore. And his parents also, as far as I know and as far as I was told, pulled all the remaining records of that Rise It 03 and 02 from him, and also from the first release. So this was how the label came to an end, tragically, because he had great aspirations and stuff, and he had also, apart from the first one, a good taste in music when it comes to Ultimate Sin and also for the MFC team record. But this is more of a strange story how labels, usually people run out of money and then they're like bankrupt or stuff, or lose interest in music due to having a relationship and a baby or whatever. And but this guy, as far as I was told, so don't take anything for like 100% guaranteed truth, but from what I was told by good friends of mine and from what I experienced with that guy, was he went bonkers and then went out of business and disappeared, or like went to a, I don't know, a sanctuary word for how, where people go for recovery when they have like mental problems or like mental illnesses, or even like, I don't know, drug abuse was not a thing with that guy. But he totally disappeared off the circuit, and I never saw the name popping up again, and I never saw Rise It popping up again. So yeah, tragic story, but this is my vinyl talk for today. More of a not only vinyl talk but label talk. And here I definitely show the label again. So if you see this around, Rise It, Despair and Dragon's Lair by Ultimate Sin, give it a try if you're into harder electronic music. And if you're a DJ and DJing drum and bass, make sure to get this, because you won't see this anywhere, and I guess you will surprise a lot of your DJ friends with playing that out. So if you're into hard drum and bass, this is a record for you, and I'm out for today. The promised vinyl talk is over. Leave me your thoughts if you have heard of this label and know where the guy went, kind of. Let me know in the comments and stuff. Subscribe, follow me. All the social media shit is down in the description box, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See you later.